Welcome to Bet It, Bank It, Blow It. I am Jamie G, and I'm here at Magnum to talk about our favorite bets and wagers for the NFL wildcard games on Sunday.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, presented by CSGAP Fantasy Football. You can find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at CSGAPFF and on the web at CSGAPFF.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure you click the thumb, and please make sure that you go ahead and check all the latest news, injury reports, odds, all that good stuff. We're going to give you some information, but it's only accurate as of Friday, January 10th, 2025. So if you're listening to this in the future, you either have a time machine or you need to check the latest whatnot. Also, don't be lazy, shop around, make sure you're getting the best odds on your wager. Check out for any potential boosts, bonuses, all of that good stuff. As you can tell by the title, we like anything with a B in it. And we're going to ring the bell, starting with a B, to move into the tail of the tape and break down this Sunday slate in the wild card round. Game one kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it on CBS or Paramount Plus. We have the 10-7 Denver Broncos traveling to Orchard Park, New York, to face the 13-4 Buffalo Bills. Denver is currently an 8.5-point underdog, plus 350 on the money line, while the Buffalo Bills are 8.5-point favorites, minus 455 on the money line. The game total is 47.5 points. Not too much to worry about in the weather for this one. That's a big lucky break there at this time of the year in Western New York. Looking at temperatures around 30 degrees, no precipitation, winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So go ahead, lock that baby in. Game two kicks off at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it on Fox. We have the 11-6 Green Bay Packers traveling to Philadelphia to face my Philadelphia Eagles, who are 14-3 on the season. Green Bay is currently a 5.5-point underdog on the road, plus 190 on the money line, while the Eagles are 5.5-point home favorites, minus 230 on the money line. Game total is 45.5 points. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts has been cleared from the concussion protocol, and he will be out there on a lovely winter day in Philadelphia. Pretty similar to Buffalo here. Temps in the mid 30s, winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, no precipitation to speak of. Game three, the nightcapper, kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it on NBC or Peacock. We have the 12-5 Washington Commanders traveling to Tampa Bay to face the 10-7 Buccaneers. The Commanders are currently 3-point road dogs, plus 145 on the money line, while the Bucs are 3-point home favorites, minus 175 on the money line. Game total in this one is 50.5 points, and the weather looks absolutely gorgeous. Temps in the low to mid 50s, minimal wind, no precipitation. Great night for football in Tampa Bay. Let's go through the games individually here. Jamie G, I know you're going to be a little bit nervous talking about your Bills, but they're the first game up here. What are your overall thoughts, at least from a wagering standpoint, on this Broncos and Bills matchup?
Well, it's a really interesting matchup, Mills. I'm excited, obviously excited to watch it. Obviously cautiously optimistic as a Bills fan, but I think there's some angles here for both teams, right? And I think when you look at Buffalo, could this be the James Cook smash game? Could the running backs get used heavily? If that's going to be the case, you feel somewhat comfortable going with Cook here if you're eyeing a running game for Buffalo, which I think they'll utilize the run game here. And then, you look at some of the matchup potentials, and you and I talked off camera a little bit, looking at some of the metrics. It looks like it could be an opportunity to attack over the middle here with some of the tight end play. So you look at Dalton Kincaid, and of course you look at Josh Allen. And then on Denver's side, one guy that really scares me is the big play explosives from Marvin Mims. We've seen it down the stretch here in the season. I think he could be an option here for Denver as well. And then, of course, the Bo Nix rushing yards, I think, is also something dangerous. Buffalo hasn't faced a ton of quarterbacks that were this year that were dangerous in the running game. So it'll be interesting to see how they spy and if they're able to contain that.
Yeah, they don't call a lot of design stuff for Knicks, but he has been pretty good about picking and choosing his spots. So definitely something to look out for. I think your guy Dalton Kincaid might be able to have a little bit of a game here. That's one of the better ways to attack the Broncos. You want to kind of make their linebackers cover. You want to attack the free safety out there. So definitely want to focus on those guys. And again, I know you want to be a little bit nervous here, but rookie quarterbacks are 5-17 in road playoff games in the history of the NFL. So the odds are on your side as people who enjoy the wagering a little bit. It's always good when the odds are actually on your side. It does suck trying to ice skate uphill. Just ask Blade. How about the next game here? I don't know if I can be unbiased about my Eagles. You are cautiously optimistic. I am cautiously pessimistic. Let's just say overall thoughts on the Packers and Eagles game.
It's kind of one of these things where Green Bay, we know that offense, actually the strength of it now is Josh Jacobs in the running game. But when you look at Philadelphia and what they do so good defensively, it's shut down the run. So I'm really curious. I think if they can stop the run, it's going to force Green Bay to have to pass the football. And with Christian Watson not in the game going down last week, you wonder if this could be the Dobbs game, if this could be the Reed game. I just don't know if there's going to be enough consistency out of Green Bay to really get the job done here in terms of winning. On the Philadelphia side of the house, I think this could be good. No Hari Alexander here on Green Bay's defense could be an opportunity to attack with the two wide receivers set there, and I think Saquon can obviously have a big day here. So I think that's where I'm leaning on these guys. I also like Dallas Goedert here. I might have a prop play coming up for him later in the episode here.
Green Bay runs a ton of zone. Goddard and Smith are generally the guys that benefit the most there. Maybe you see Saquon out of the backfield a little bit this week. He hasn't been used as much in that capacity, but that's more of a Jalen Hurts thing. So we're not going to have Tanner McKee back there. The one thing that scares me a little bit is at least the Packers have played some people. They were 11th in strength of schedule. The Eagles all the way down to 30th. I know that they played the Ravens. They played some teams earlier in the season, but overall they haven't really been tested. And when they have failed. I mean, we lost to two NFC South things. The Panthers would have beat us if Xavier Legette hangs on to that ball. That was in Philly against the Panthers. So, again, reasons to be optimistic, but as well as the Eagles defense has played, this is again, there's a reason they're 14-3 and they're only, 5.5 point favorites here, or 5 point favorites. That's, normally in this situation, you look for a 6 to 7 point favorite, maybe. So, people are worried a little bit for maybe for good reason, maybe for not. Maybe the most interesting game, at least, it just seems like it could be the wildest, is the nightcapper here. The Commanders traveling to Tampa Bay to play the Bucks. Biggest total we have on the board. What are your thoughts on this one?
I love this matchup. I'm really excited, and I think this could be a little bit of fireworks factory from an offensive standpoint. I'm not in love with either defense. I think Washington's defense is just not very good. And when you look at Tampa Bay, they've just been so bad at giving up big plays and kind of forcing themselves into shootouts, and they've been able to come out on the right side of some of those. But I think this game has the opportunity to see a lot of offensive explosion on both teams. The interesting matchup we talked a little bit about it earlier is the Marshawn Lattimore and the Mike Evans. If Lattimore is going to play, can he limit him? Can he get in his head? And if that's the case, could this be the rookie's time to shine there in Tampa Bay? Could it be another Bucky Irving game? It looks like there's potential to get Cade Otton back. It could be getting Otton here. So I like offensive playmakers from Tampa Bay here. And I do like some Jaden Daniels props. I think this will be a high scorer. And I like both opportunities for both offenses here in this game.
Definitely a big fan of our boy Bucky Irving down there. Going to be on him quite a bit this week. And this is a game where I like some of the secondary options here. I like Zach Ertz on the Commander side. I like Jalen McMillan over on the Buck side. Not that you have to stay away from Mike Evans or anything necessarily, but given kind of the uncertainty of Lattimore there and how good McMillan has been over the last stretch of games here, I'm not really worried about the return of Otten impacting him too much or anything. So definitely a player I like. And before we get into the wagers, you should know here on Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, our favorite currency is the cricket coin. So all of our wagers will be in cricket coins. In cricket, we trust. Maybe that was the root of our bad decisions, but sometimes bad decisions are fun, and we like to have fun by doing our favorite stuff. So we're going to kick things off with our favorite wagers. Jamie G, looking at these games, your spread, sides, totals, that kind of thing. What are your favorite wagers for these three games on this Wild Card Sunday slate?
Yeah, I found two here that I'm gonna roll with, man, for favorite wagers. I'm gonna go ahead and take Philadelphia with the points. It's -5.5 today. We'll see if that goes up, if that changes at all. But I'm gonna go ahead and take them here, man. I think they win by a touchdown. It's -105, 100 cricket coins to win 195. Like them at home here. Not sure if they'll, what the matchup will be next week, but getting through this week, I think they've got it.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Go Birds.
I've also taken a run here on Tampa Bay Mills. I'm taking 100 cricket coins on Tampa Bay -3 again at home against Washington. I think this one could be a little bit of a shootout. Could be kind of who has the ball last. I think Washington will get down, come back, make a game out of it. And I think it'll be an exciting finish. But in the end, I've got Tampa Bay at home, inching one out here. It's -115, 100 cricket coins there to take back 187.
That sounds good. And what else sounds good is trying to get as high as Wu-Tang gets, which is very difficult to do unless you go way up there. We're going to give it our best effort here on the top of the props, our favorite player props, game props, team props. You want to flip a coin? You can bet on that too. I'm not a huge fan of the coin flip bet at the Super Bowl yet. I place one every year because I can be quite a square sometimes. Jamie G, give us your favorite props for this Sunday slate.
Yeah, knock on wood here, Mills. I'm going to take my boy. I've got 100 cricket coins on James Cook to hit his over. It's currently 58.5 rushing yards. I love this number, Mills. He hit this 2 of the last 3 games. Only missed it against the Jets when the Bills kind of attacked him through the air and just basically had a ton of success doing that. He's had 100 plus rushing yards in both of those games, had 100 plus in 3 out of his last 5. I think he gets over the 58.5 here at home, man. It's minus 115. 100 cricket coins there to take back 187. And then I'm throwing 100 cricket coins on your guy, Dallas Goedert, over 3.5 receptions. It's minus 145, but I like this better than the yardage, just because I think he gets the targets. I don't know how far the yardage will go, but I think he's going to get the looks. Along with Devontae Smith, you mentioned it. He's kind of the Eagles zone beater. Production, it's fluctuated due to his injuries, but he hasn't had less than 3 receptions in his last 4 games. That's got to count for something here. It's playoff time. He's been there before. I think he's going to have a big game here, man. 100 cricket coins there to win 169. And then last but certainly not least, I'm throwing 100 cricket coins on Baker Mayfield to hit his over on the passing yards. It's currently 246.5 passing yards. Look, I mentioned it before. I think this game is going to turn into a little bit of a shootout. It's 2 weak defenses, 2 explosive offenses. I think it's got the recipe, all the ingredients for a stew going for a shootout. That means you're going to see Baker Mayfield throw the football all over the field here, even if it's in the screen game to Bucky the Buccaneer and those guys. So over 246.5 passing yards, minus 115, 100 cricket coins there to take back 187.
I feel like the Pirates name was that I forget the Pirates name there. Maybe it's not Bucky, but
Bucky
that's
the
Bucky the
Buccaneer.
Buccaneer, right? I mean I believe that they do have their mascot is a pirate, and I don't think that's his name, but it probably should have been. But if it was, would you have to change it now? Can you have 2 Buckies? These are the type of deep questions we ask here on Bet It Bank and Blow It. And I mentioned the Wu-Tang Clan and Method Man. You know his steez, but here on Bet It Bank and Blow It, do you know my tease? Jamie G, I want to see if you have any teasers for us here for this Sunday slate. Anything you like to move the line with a little bit and just give it a little tickle.
First up, we got to knock on wood here. Taking my hometown team, taking my Bills, baby. I got a 6 point teaser, teasing the Bills down to minus 2.5 at Denver, and teasing the total points for Denver Buffalo down to 41.5. So we get a 6 point teaser here. Bills minus 2.5. Game total over 41.5. That gives us minus 120 odds. I think the Bills win at home at least by a field goal, and I like getting the 41.5 number. I think it easily goes over that here. So 100 cricket coins there at minus 120 to take back 183. And then I've got a 6.5 point teaser here, Mills, with your birds, the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to tease them down to +1 at Green Bay, and then we're going to tease Tampa Bay Buccaneers to +3.5 at Washington. I absolutely love this combination because I expect both Philadelphia and Tampa Bay to win, but this buys us a little bit of cushion here. That 6.5 point teaser at minus 130, so 100 cricket coins there to take back 177. We're approaching the end of the episode and we're closing things out with a little tripod time. And we've got legs and we know how to use them. We've utilized our proprietary formula to come up with a 3-leg single game parlay for each of the games here. Mills, go ahead, show us the legs we have chosen.
Starting in game 1, we have some pretty sturdy legs here. We're going to open up with Jamie G's wager. James Cook over 58.5 rushing yards. As we've mentioned, he's been pretty solid over the past few games. I think he's hit 100 yards in 3 of his last 5. Looking pretty good out there. The Bills will try to establish the run, control the clock. Leg number 2, we're going to go with Josh Allen using his legs. Josh Allen over 44.5 rushing yards. This is minus 110 on its own. He's hit the over on his rush props in 4 of the last 6 games, and he's had 50 plus rushing yards in each of those games. So feeling very good about that 44.5 there. And then why not? Let's just make it a theme. Bo Nix over 28.5 rushing yards. That is also minus 110. He's hit the rushing over in 4 straight, and he's at least 23 yards in all of those. So pretty close to that 28.5 number. We're liking those legs. James Cook over 58.5 rushing yards. Josh Allen over 44.5 rushing yards. Bo Nix over 28.5 rushing yards. You put those 3 legs together, your odds are plus 550. So a wager of 100 cricket coins will return 650. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Game number 2, we're going to try to fly Eagles fly here. We got the birds. Dallas Goedert, JBG's guy here, over 3.5 receptions, minus 145. Really like his role here against the Packers and how much zone they play. Leg number 2, we're going to switch it up to the wide receivers. Go with Devontae Smith, over 62.5 receiving yards, minus 110 on its own. Another guy the Eagles like to look to when they're playing that zone defense. And finally, let's just go to the big guy, A.J. Brown, anytime touchdown scorer. That is plus 120. He's had at least 1 touchdown in each of his last 3 games. Yes, you can go for the short odds with Jalen Hurts or with Saquon Barkley. You're trying to get aggressive with a 2-time, but why not just take the easy button, say Mr. Brown's going to make it happen for the 4th time in a row. You put those 3 together. Dallas Goedert over 3.5 receptions. Devontae Smith over 62.5 receiving yards. A.J. Brown anytime touchdown scorer. Your odds are plus 525. So 100 cricket coins will return 625. In the nightcap, it's time to have a little bit of fun with it. See if we can get at least a little bit longer here. We're going to take Baker Mayfield, 250 plus passing yards. That is minus 105 on its own. On the other side of the ball, we're going to have Jaden Daniels using his legs. It's a quarterback rushing week. Jaden Daniels over 49.5 rushing yards. That's minus 120. He's hit the rushing over in 3 of his last 4 games, and he's had at least 66 rushing yards in 4 of his last 6 games. So I feel pretty confident he's getting to that 50 burger we need. And then we're going to take my guy, Jalen McMillan, anytime touchdown scorer. That is plus 160 on his own. He scored at least 1 touchdown in 5 straight games, and he's had 7 touchdowns over that span. He is feeling it. I don't really worry about the return of Cade Otton here. And if Marshawn Lattimore is really playing D on Mike Evans like that, more power to Jalen McMillan then. So you take those 3, Baker Mayfield 250 plus, Jaden Daniels over 49.5 rushing yards, and Jalen McMillan anytime TD scorer. Your odds are plus 650. So 100 cricket coins to bring you back 750. And if you want to parlay all of these together, I should have looked up that number, but I bet you it's a big one. Go ahead if you're playing these. At least do the one single game plus or whatever. Throw all 3 of the parlays into a parlay, throw a buck on it, and then you might have a stew going. R.I.P. Carl Weathers.
Love that, Stu, and we love you guys. Thank you for checking out another episode of Bet It, Bank It, Blow It. We are so pumped for the Sunday main slate here of playoff football. I can't believe we're here, but we are. Couldn't be here without you guys. Appreciate your support. Make sure you throw the thumb and subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video, man. Trying to get a community of people that love sports betting on NFL football, and making sure we're all working together so we can cash as many of those tickets as possible. Let us know how you're attacking Sunday. If you like something we did, if you're tailing it, or if you got something different, shoot them over to us, man. Send me the slips, just to see what they look like. I'll send you ours back. Good luck. Hope you make a ton of money. Mills will let you know where you can find all of our stuff.
Money's good, but some live footage from some fun tailgating could be better, especially if the Birds and Bills win. So just keep that in mind. That's what we're rooting for. So if you're having fun in the parking lot pre or post game for those teams, we would enjoy that too. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, presented by CSGAP Fantasy Football. You can find all of our content wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Find us on social media at CSGAPFF and on the World Wide Web at CSGAPFF.com. Very simple to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Very important to our success. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure that you hit the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills. He is Jamie G. We can help you bet it. We can help you bank it.
But blowing it is up to you.